Good morning, everybody. Happy hump day. It is Wednesday, and I just got off the lake with my buddy Scott DeGata. This is the second day I fished with him. We fished yesterday on the west end. We jigged down in the deeper water. I had a couple people ask me what we were doing. We fished out of Oneida shores yesterday, and we were jigging out around Tree and out in that area, in the channel north of 130. I think we ended up with 4 or 5 walleyes, 3 keepers, and quite a few good-sized perch. I mean, good-sized perch. We had water temp in the low 60s out there on a pretty stiff east wind. This morning, I met Scott and we launched out of Freemax, and we went right straight out into that 30-foot trough, and we turned west and we started trolling. We were trolling today, and stick bait trolling, not pulling harnesses. We got out to that 30 foot of water, and we turned west, and we went all the way up from right in front of Freemax, all the way up past Cornell, South Shore Boat Ramp. Going that way, we hit 3 fish, 2 perch, and a rock bass. We had a rock bass bite a stick bait in 33 foot of water on the bottom, on the downrigger rod. I thought that was pretty interesting. Water temp today down on this end was 64. We had an east-northeast wind, 5 to 10. Rain the whole time. I wasn't able to film out there because it poured on us all morning, and that's my story. Today we ended up with 4 or 5 walleyes, 3 perch, and a rock bass. All of our walleye bites came coming back into the wind, as opposed to going with it. I don't know if that was coincidence or not. I mean, I would think it wouldn't be, and I'm going to assume that it was directional. So, but we only made 1 long troll down and 1 troll back. So it was, other than being soaking wet, and both Scott and I's rain gear failed, and both Scott and I are going to be looking for new rain gear very soon, because I had to change my hoodie when I got back to the ramp because I was soaked, and nothing worse than that. Nothing worse than that, especially when you have rain gear on and it does not work. So that was our day today. Like I say, the conditions just were too rough and too wet to film, and we couldn't film this out there. So I'm filming it real quick while we're heading back. Tomorrow I am back out here on the east end, a little farther east out of Lakeport, with my good friend Danny Diamond. It'll be the first time we've ever fished together. He invited me to come out with him, and I graciously accepted. And so that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. Well, I want to thank everybody who joined us last night in our conversation, our bass and walleye, but it was a heavy bass conversation last night with Ian Renfrew from Brown Dog Tackle. And I still haven't, I'll post his information, so if anybody's interested in some of his great products, then you can get over to where he sells them on his website and check it out. Big thanks to Ian for coming on with me last night. We had a few technical difficulties to start with, but we smoothed everything out, and we were good to go, and we ended strong. We had a great conversation. We talked about bass. We talked about bass season. We talked about walleye fishing. We talked about a bass fisherman's perspective on walleye fishing, and we talked about jerkbait, throwing jerkbaits for walleyes. One thing I will tell you is I said last night that Ian and I have a plan to do a jerkbait video here very soon. I just left Lakeside Outfitters, and I'm not going to show you what's in here yet, but this is a bag of jerkbaits that I will be throwing when Ian and I do the video. So stay tuned. Again, thank you everybody for tuning in last night and this morning. Have a great I got stuff all over me. I'm wet. Everything's sticking to me. Have a great Wednesday. Happy hump day. The weekend's right in sight. Even though it's cold and rainy today, we really do need the rain, so I'm not complaining one bit. Have a great day, and as always, keep your tip up.